Okay, I think the bounce looks good. I think you have all the elements in there. What I would say is just tone down particularly the squash. That first squash is really big, and I would expect that kind of squash if there was a much faster change of acceleration, like he was coming down much quicker, maybe from a much higher height. But for this lower height, I would tone that down a bit. I think it would look better. But besides that, that's looking good. The realistic bounce I thought needed a little more work. You mentioned something about um, I did squash and stretch too much. Yeah, I really think you basically you could probably do none squash and stretch for a bowling ball, and I mean sometimes you can put a tiny bit on there just to give it that feeling, but I think yeah, what you have is just it doesn't look like a bowling ball because of the squash and stretch. So if you were going to do it, I would say make it tiny, but I would just lose it. I'm just going to do delete selected. I mean, to me that already looks more like a bowling ball. And then the other thing is this rotation is not right. So what I would do is let's. That's okay. Now I would not do two contact frames on a realistic ball, so that would be the other thing. Definitely not. So I would take those out. Let's take a look. So I would definitely take out. And also, like, if you're going to do the two contact frames, they can't move in the X direction either. But like I said, I'm just going to take all these out. Whoops, not that one. All those out. And then you definitely don't want these um, for a realistic bounce. Let's just flatten that. Okay. And then maybe take this out and fix. To level that off. Okay, something more like that. Um, and let's take a look at it now without the. Um, to me, it's already looking more like a bowling ball. And then this spin is very distracting. Is that the rotate? Yeah. Um, no, what are you using to rotate it? What the? Isn't that the rotation? Oh yeah, that is. I thought I. Anyway, let's just select the wrong. So I think this does actually slow down there, but I would do this more like a linear curve. I don't think that it'll speed up and slow down the way you've done it, except for so. It's clearly rotating too much here for how much it's moving forward. So before I do that, I would also recommend one thing that looks nice sometimes with heavy objects is like one last teeny tiny bounce. I'm just going to key the. Oh, that's the deform. Where's the move control? So it lands, and then I like to just go up. I'm just going to just change the wide translate just a teeny bit, and then back down to here. A tiny, tiny, almost like a vibration. Oops, what was that at one? That little doot doot doot, like at the end, sometimes gives it a. There's just it's almost like it's barely perceptible, but there's a certain sort of little vibration at the end almost that sometimes helps that I like to do. And then the rotation, we said, yeah. So it's fine up until this point. But let's set a keyframe here. And then it stops rolling it. So first of all, this should move back. Whoops. What to here? Okay, that's 40 is when it stops moving forward. So the rolling should stop there too. And it should just roll a lot less. So I'm just gonna do less. Still too much. I have auto keyframe on right here, so it's just automatically keyframing it when I do that. I think that's still too much. That's looking about right to me. So to me, that's more like a bowling ball.